Hi everyone, so I'm here with my friend fruitarian Allie, who I was very excited to meet today. She goes back and forth between a fully raw vegan diet and a mostly raw vegan diet in college. And when I was switching to a healthier lifestyle, I was also doing it in school. And I came up against the administration in a lot of ways. And in fact, I was trying to get off their food and do my own food because really, I don't trust anybody to do my own food. Like, I've even gotten situations where I'm relying on other raw foodists to provide food for me, and they still fuck up, like, in a big way. So I definitely don't trust, somebody eating chicken every night to make sure all my fruit is right. Allie, could you start by telling us about why you were trying to get off, why you had to be on a meal plan at school, why you were trying to get off it, and kind of what that process involved?
Sure. Okay, so I go to a really small liberal arts college in southern, I'm actually wearing scripts. I go to one of the Claremont colleges, and everyone pretty much lives on campus, and everyone is required to have a meal plan. And I was pretty much doing a raw till 4 lifestyle the first year of college. And this last year I decided that I wanted to be completely raw and that I wanted to get off my meal plan. And I just had to jump through a bunch of hoops, and I had to meet with the dean and have multiple meetings with him. And I ultimately ended up signing like a contract that said I was responsible for maintaining my health and
so if she dies eating fruit, they're not responsible.
Yeah, exactly.
It's funny because when I started off not on a fruit-based lifestyle, but a whole foods, gluten-free vegan lifestyle, and I didn't want to eat anything with heated oils, etc. I wanted to eat all organic. I didn't want to eat refined grains, for example, and I tried to do the same thing. And what they told me was that I couldn't live off campus and do my own food. I had to move off campus. But I was not prepared to move off campus, so it was really complicated. So what they told me was that they'd buy me groceries, and I could use my meal plan points toward that. And the groceries they ended up buying for me were just abysmal. Like, Oregon has fresh hazelnuts, just incredible nut, certain time of the year. And I knew it was hazelnut season, so I said, I want fresh hazelnuts, but only if they're from Oregon. And they bought me hazelnuts that were grown in Turkey, packaged in Rhode Island, and shipped out to me. So that's kind of my experience. So you're going through this process, and you're trying to explain to people that you eat a fully raw, high-carbohydrate diet, which is fruit-based. How do you deal with that process? I can imagine a lot of controversy involving it. Luckily, I've always been a really strong, fit, athletic guy who's not too skinny, but you're not in that kind of same situation. You're obviously a lot more slender than I am. You're a woman. Maybe you come across people thinking that you have an eating disorder or that you're anorexic. So how do you kind of deal with that going into these situations?
Okay, so luckily no one's ever, I've had one person kind of imply that I have an eating disorder, and that was actually one of my close friends.
Oh.
Which is tough. Probably probably one of the worst things I've ever been accused of. But so in the case of the dean, I just really had to explain to him how I eat, and I had to write out, an exact meal and what I eat in a day. And
do you send him a video?
I did. I should have.
Yeah.
I should have. But I think luckily for me, I came into college on this lifestyle, already a fruitarian, and I kind of sort of had an Instagram going, and for some reason a bunch of people in my class started following me on Instagram, and
That's
so
great.
that was how they kind of got introduced to my lifestyle. And it's nice because if you are on Instagram, you can see, I kind of link to everyone else's pages, and so you can kind of see the community there. So I'm not like the weird, alone fruitarian.
You're not just doing it to be crazy.
Right, exactly. But the school also offered to do my groceries basically as well. And I just, they would be horrible and basically conventional wax-covered, really unripe fruit. And so I basically said no, and I want to do this completely on my own. Please let me do this. And it took a lot of persuading and a lot of convincing, but I finally got it.
Yeah, so important parts there are if you want to eat a really healthy vegan lifestyle at college, you have to be really insistent about it. You can't, you've got to be willing to work with them, but you also have to be really insistent that you don't think that they'll be able to provide it, and they will not be able to provide it.
Yeah.
Because people don't know what a healthy diet looks like, they don't know how to grocery shop for it, because they don't eat one, and that's the truth. Yeah, anything else about like eating a raw diet at college? What kind of comments do you get?
I bring, especially in the summertime, I bring all my fruit to class, and I would bring half of a watermelon to class, and all my teachers would comment on it, and I would pass around my watermelon in like my computer science class.
That's great.
Yeah, and I get a lot of funny comments about that. But otherwise, if you want to have a vegetarian or vegan diet in college, a cooked one,
it's pretty easy.
Yeah, it's pretty easy.
Most colleges, not all of them, but at least it's easy in my college.
Yeah.
And it's easy at yours as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I know like you go to Scripps and I go to Willamette University and they have like a vegan wagon, but I know like there's some schools like Sacramento State University, for example, where everything has gluten and dairy in it, so that might be kind of tough. But I had similar experiences where like I'd bring a watermelon into the school coffee shop, and somebody would ask me like, "Did you just kill a whole watermelon?" And I'd say that was my second one. Just $6. No, so that was fun. I've also taken a jackfruit into the school cafeteria, and I've broken it down right there in front of everybody else.
Nice.
And it's funny, everybody seems to know that I'm weird like that by now, and they don't even look at me. So they don't even ask, what is that?
Yeah.
So I have a lot of fun that way. There was also one time I brought durian into computer lab, and people got angry about that.
Gosh.
Just, crappy frozen durian. All right, cool. Well, thanks for sharing. So again, if you want to be 100% raw, you've got to go for it. Don't let people tell you have an eating disorder. It's not. It does look weird, but though eating fruit, people are going to freak out. People are fruit phobic. They got fresh food phobia. That's another good story, Brian. Can you tell us the story about your roommate and kind of her reaction to fresh foods?
Okay, so my first year of college, I was in a forced triple, which basically means a room was a double, but they fit 3 of us in there because there wasn't much space. And one of my roommates, initially, one was an exchange student from China, and she was super cool about it. And then another was from Seattle, actually. And she was really open to my lifestyle, at least that's what it seemed like. And then as time passed, she would just she wasn't a very direct person, so what ended up happening is I guess she had a lot of issues with the smell of fruit, even though I kept them in boxes under my bed because we really didn't have much room at all. And then one day, I think towards the end of the first semester, I get an email from like the Scripps head of
instead of her talking to you about it?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus.
She went straight to the head of the living situation, and I had to have a meeting with this woman, and luckily she was really understanding and said, wow, it's not cool that she didn't talk to you about this. And, but yeah, it was pretty tough. But luckily she ended up moving out towards the end of the towards the beginning of the second semester. But yeah, it was tough. We ended up making like a contract about my fruit situation, which was really weird, but
and you've got a lot of contracts about
yeah,
fruit.
I know.
You've got more contracts than Dole.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
It's pretty funny. I've had a similar situation where I was living in a house with like 6 or 7 other people, and so sometimes fruit would get really, really ripe, and I wouldn't be quite sure what I wanted to do with it, and to a lot of other people it looks rotten and it looks like I'm not dealing with it. And I guess there's some truth to that, but they get kind of freaked out about it too. Oh, and here's another good story. One day I was eating durian in the kitchen, and my roommate, or housemate, came in from the dining room and checked the burners because she thought the gasoline was on. All right, those are some good college stories. If you want to eat 100% raw vegan in college or whatever, make it happen. Get off your meal plan. You can do it, but it takes time. You've got to fight a bureaucracy. But I think it's worth it. What do you think?
Definitely worth it, yeah.
All right, cool. Peace.